pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we pause and just ask for you to speak to us in the way that we need to be heard today. Lord, just ask that you would guide us and bless us and know that we're putting our lives in your hands. So we do want you to tell us what to do and to direct us. So Lord, we thank you for this group and everything that we're trying to get accomplished. In your name, amen.
Okay. Yeah.
Minutes.
You have these minutes.
Everybody should have received minutes. If they had a working computer, they got the minutes.
Clean up stuff.
Should have all had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting. Any additions, corrections?
Sign that.
Move to approve.
Second.
Bob and Jim,
Motion to approve and seconded, what minutes from last meeting? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Please.
all right. Got a few grants today, so I'm looking for the first one.
You got it first.
Yeah, let's do Holly's first. We can do Holly's and then Nate's right after this one. So we can get Nate out of here.
What are you doing, Holly?
Yep. Holly from the health clinic have a grant for emergency preparedness, which is what Carla, when she was here, had gotten every year. It's to help pay for that position and do other things. And I think, well, both bodies will have to approve it, and it's for $20,000. And it'll go into public health maintenance for public health emergency preparedness.
I'll move to approve that.
Second.
Who's taking it?
Corey and Fred,
Corey?
Holly's grant. Just need a vote.
Motion to approve the grant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And now you can ask Nate if you want to. Together for a funeral.
Nate, step up.
How's it going, Nate? I'm doing well. Appreciate the chance to be here. Certainly, I know everybody, if you aren't aware, full jerseys today, we're going to Jim's funeral. Jim's Ganth, one of the highway employees, was killed in a crash on his way to work last week. So he was a big Colts fan, the families are, so we'll be rooting the Colts for him this year. Obviously, my part today is regarding a grant request. Like to the rehabilitation of Bridge 96. This carries County Route 300 East, just south of State Road 124. The plan is to do a superstructure replacement plan, and you should have a copy in front of you of the most recent SI neighbor report. It includes some of the beam damage that you can see there. This has been a slow deterioration. I've got photos dating back all the way back to 2012 of this beam slowly kind of deteriorating and weathering. There is a broken strand of reinforcing steel, which is why on the back page you see in the superstructure rating, it is now flagged as a four superstructure. It has not lowered its load rating at this point, but it is eligible for the funding for that rehabilitation. So with your support and the commissioner's support, I'd like to submit that grant application to NDOT. The open NOFA, or Notice of Funding Availability, was opened on November 3rd of this year and will close. I have all my notes here, the end of November, but that's just myself. But it is actually closes on December 5th. If we were shortlisted, then we will hear back in January for a possible interview. And then after that, we'll may hear back as early as mid-March to early April, if we are funded. This is for fiscal year 2031 construction. So I'm trying to schedule this out. It's not a quick project, but I'm trying to seek the funding for this because superstructure replacements can be expensive. This one will be in its own right, but with the funding, the match, requesting $778,000, a little over $778,000 for the total project. Local funds for it would only be $194,000 in local dollars. So it's an 80-20 grant, and this is 2031. So I do have inflation adjustments into this, and this includes everything from engineering, construction, as well as construction inspection. So that's why this project may look larger in the overall scale, but for the local cost, it certainly is a cost savings for us. It allows me to budget it out to 2031, 2032 timeframe, which is beneficial.
Does this bridge ever have any issues when, we get a lot of rain and there's flooding in the area?
This one hasn't been a flooding issue for us. My hope is to make some adjustments to it. I'm not proposing to put back in box beams. Box beams have been a problem for the county and for the state of Indiana on the whole. My intent is to go with next beams. Those are actually something that can be fabricated and even pre-stressed here in Decatur, just outside of Decatur now. Those are already a double T construction, so they don't have the hollow opening inside of it. So you have less risks of moisture standing inside the beams. So they're easier to inspect. They last longer, maybe actually taller slightly, but the bottom of the bridge would stay essentially identical for that. So
That's planned to use pre-stress.
yeah, that's the target. That's my design intent. I can't say that officially that's gonna be what'll end up happening, but I won't accept a box beam. So it'll either be those, or we would end up doing some modifications to either a galvanized press tub girder. It's essentially a galvanized steel beam with a reinforced concrete top. We'll end up doing some cost estimates when we actually get to the final design, but either option is built into the construction estimate we have here.
Is this normal to be out this long?
Oh, yeah, for federal aid, my long range plan is 10 years out. I
just
try to
don't
do.
recall anything being that
Yeah,
far
so
out.
all the federal aid projects are usually, you're asking 6 years before you're hoping to build it. So I've got a 10-year look ahead, and then I'm trying to pigeonhole projects into the longer range plan. If I don't ask for the money now for 2031, there's not another 2021 grant. The next one I'm looking for is 2032 or 33. So you're essentially skipping a year. You won't necessarily see the skipped year if you're not looking for it. It just doesn't happen. So it's a 5-year process at minimum. And the reason you start this year is because there's almost a year just in build up award. So we'll ask in November. We won't know if we're even awarded until April 26th. I won't have a contract to start engineering until probably this time in 2026, November, December of 26.
That's absurd.
So it's a long process, but if you know the process, it's kind of a slow glacial pace, but it's a steady pace and it's fairly consistent.
We're working on projects out in the 32, 33 and.
No. And you have to build in the inflation for it, but it's overall, if we could do it faster, the problem is you're doing 100% of it on your local taxpayers to try to afford that. And I can't necessarily justify that. There's other projects that we can do with 100% local funding that are cost effective. So
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion to approve and seconded for grant approval. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Quick note, I didn't necessarily know Jim. I heard about that. Been praying for him. So please send from the county council our thoughts and prayers, if you would.
I appreciate it. No, I'm sure his family will, and thank you very much. You know, a number of the guys in the office obviously are grieving for him. Says it's such a shock, but he's a good man, and certainly he'll be missed. And he's always a good influence on people. Never wanted to stir the pot like having had boys like that. So again, thank you all.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
Wade, would you like to-
Corey?
We're gonna take you ahead of a couple other things, because we just did two other grants, and might as well do your grant while we're doing it.
Go ahead and give this to you because it has the
Good morning.
mission president signature.
Are you guys passing around all the flu stuff, the bird flu stuff I send? Okay. I don't send it to everybody every time. But it's okay with me.
Okay, so I've got 5 grants I'm gonna go over with you, everyone. Our first one that we applied for is the HMEP, which is our hazardous material grant. We applied to be able to bring in a company called Be Prepared. This way they can help us facilitate our 2026 LEPC exercise. We haven't decided what we're gonna be doing yet, but we wanted to get a company, this way we can have them with us from the beginning. Our next one is going to be the EMPG, which they help cover half of our salary. So we applied for that one. They told us would be $32,713.95. For the HMAP, I forgot to tell you guys, well, that one we did was $6,750. Which one?
That HMPS.
HMAP is hazardous materials emergency preparedness. So it's our, anything that's hazmat.
Gotcha.
And on the second one, on the EMPG salary, the state determines how much our grant's gonna be. We don't get to choose that. They just send us an email and say you have been awarded this much money if you choose to use it.
The next one that we applied for, well, the next two, both are SHSP, which is a state homeland security program. The first one we did was to try to replace our 2016 Chevy Tahoe. It's just starting to get quite a bit of rust on the frame and the underbody. And so we can try to get a new vehicle before that gets too bad to be able to get as much money as we can for the Tahoe for this new vehicle. That one we wrote for the vehicle, which is a 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500. It's going to be included in the vehicle, lights, sirens, so all that will be upgraded to from the 2016 Chevy Silverado, or Chevy Tahoe. And then it will also include new graphics on it too. So that one, the total was $68,626.80. The next
Is that
SHS.
with the trade-in?
Yes. So the trade-in would most likely come, the money would most likely come back to the county, as long as we get the full amount for the grant. Because they could fund partial, and if they fund partial, the money for the Tahoe would replace what we'd have hopefully left over.
I seen that Tahoe. It's on its last leg.
Yeah, there's the outlet or the light plug-in on the back is now like, it's so rusted, it's now hanging. So I have to go from underneath when I'm plugging in our trailer lights, to hold it when I'm trying to plug it in. So it looks okay from the body, but once you look underneath, it's got quite a bit of rust.
The underside's really rusted.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, do we, like on that, do we work with, law enforcement that's buying vehicles every single year? So they get, I think they get some type of deal or whatever that we.
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
look-
so
we
the
did.
Vehicle, I went through sheriff and I got his
Okay.
contact for that. So we're using the same one, and then same with the lights and sirens. Troy helped me
Okay.
with
good deal.
that too.
Yep, thanks.
And then the guy that's doing our lights and sirens said that if we wanted to do different graphics than what we have on the current Tahoe, he could help us design graphics for this Silverado too. Our next SHSB, we applied for our 8200 communication system analyzer. We applied for this last year, but we didn't get it. It's a tuner that Bob Hakes would be able to use for all the county radios within Adams County to help reprogram, retune them. This way we're not sending them out of county. And that one was $58,860.55.
Just out of curiosity, when we send these rate, is that an annual thing? We send them out to get them retuned
I believe it's in every 2 years.
every 2 years? And what does that cost? Do we know?
I am not sure. I'm thinking it's anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000, but they don't have to be on that one.
$2,000 to $3,000 total
A radio.
for
For
radio?
radio.
How many radios are there?
That I'm not sure.
I mean, it'd be all the portable and mobile radios in the county.
Just wondering, if we don't get a grant, I mean, I wonder if it pays for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely would pay for itself over the years, because we would, again, when they send out radios, there is that time where that person has to find another radio to have with them. So this would be able to keep it in-house, we'd be able to get it done a lot quicker, so the turnaround time would be quicker.
And we went through Bob Hicks and Eric. Actually, was it Bill Grimm maybe, one of the guys in dispatch. Our IT was the one that brought this idea to us and said this would be an asset to the county.
Yeah, Bob Hakes
I wonder
helped us.
what, Lenny, I've never heard of anybody sending our radios out, at least for Decatur PD, and we all have the same radios.
Yeah, this was what Sheriff Dan brought to us and asked us to request.
Not sure what that. Mike, you have any idea?
They use the radios as a backup, basically, it comes down to the only way to put this information, they can place throughout the county.
What are the ones that you guys have in your office?
No, it's for the law enforcement and fire. It's not for our cash.
You probably just get a
It
radio
would
with
be
that hand,
kept
yeah,
with Bob Hakes.
when they send those out.
Yeah, we all do. That's
Never
my
thought they
thought.
did
Make
make
sure
that.
you include the fire departments in on that, because the fire departments, most of the people volunteers,
Right.
and so they're not on our network. And so the only way that they can get communication is through.
Yeah, this one too.
Yeah.
And they don't actually
There's a 12
get
still on.
information through flex through dispatch. They're not built that way. They're not on our network. They get that kind of communication. So their communication on radio or maybe dispatch phone and all on cell phones and things like that is completely separate from our network.
No, I understand that, but the
Also, the radio.
the radios have never left anybody's possession.
Now is going different. They're gonna start moving more towards digital over the internet rather than the traditional way of doing analog. So therefore, you could have someone could be completely outside of our jurisdiction. Let's say it's the fire chief or something like that. And since they're going to be doing it through internet and digital communication, they could be outside of the county and they could still get the warning, the chiefs and so on, as well as other people for fire departments that, they have to be outside of the county for whatever reason. These phones would then work. It's mostly like a cell phone. It's not digital.
On their radio?
Yeah, on the radio.
Well, they have that now. It's FMA one.
But it's not going through the internet, it's going through its digital.
Repeaters.
It's going through our towers. On the north side, that tower there by Walmart and the one down in Burn is radiating through these towers out. But that won't travel forever. This is going to be using, digital through internet communication. So they
I'm still not sure. We have this FMA one, but
potentially.
Statewide.
In the United States. And get this.
I know Judge
Maybe
Hakes,
even out of country.
a
Not
lot of
that they
theirs
would
take
do
them
that.
to Bob Hakes,
to where?
to Bob Hakes for him to send out.
And we can get more information and send out to you guys so you,
I'd be
so
curious to
we
know how-
understand and you understand what,
I'd be curious to know how the,
Yeah.
how the
process.
grant process.
Yeah,
How
that
that ends
statewide
up.
mutual aid and those repeaters, you can go almost to Florida and they'll still pick up.
right.
I've done it.
Yes.
Oh, whatever it is, so it sounds like this needs to happen with the radios regular, and if we get this grant, we would definitely get tuners, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Everything will be done.
potentially, maybe it's worth, even if we don't get the grant, maybe it's worth looking at, is what I'm getting at.
We'll give everyone some more information so you can
Yeah.
look at it and justify what you think really needs to be done.
Yeah. Oh, I still can talk to you guys about all that other stuff too.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause our last meeting's coming up for this year, next week.
Our last grant was the Adams County Community Foundation. We have been working a lot with Steve Bailey on a countywide app through ODC, which is the same company that the sheriff department uses. What it would be is we would be able to have up to 9 different county departments to have a page on this app. So like for EMA, we would be able to send out like, hey, we're doing this hazmat training this week to the public if we wanted to, or we could put out to the public, we're code red, or people could go onto our page and find our information. Same with like the clerk's office, the health department could put a lot of stuff out too. The total for that for the first year was $16,821 for the first year, and then after that, it drops down. We received a donation through Burn and Ready Mix of $5,000 to go towards that. And then the grant that I wrote from the Community Foundation was $5,000. We were awarded $3,600 on that to go towards this.
And then the health department, our county health department, has agreed to put in $2,000 because they will also have a page and they can pay for that through one of their grants.
So we're about 2/3 of the way there.
So, which leaves us to the balance, which is $6,221. And we have reached out to the Porter Foundation as well as a couple other companies in Adams County that donate to county projects. And we have not gotten any responses back from them, which brings us to the point where we are here asking if the county will pick up the balance of this so that we could get this app started before the end of this year.
It is a 12-week build plan with this company.
So once we sign the paperwork, it's gonna take,
Minimum, I guess I should say. 12
yeah, a
weeks.
minimum of 12 weeks for this company to come in and sit with every department head that's gonna have their own page on this app to develop and what each department wants to be able to put out to the public.
What's the subsequent year cost? So it drops.
It drops down to
60,
annual subtotal $7,290.
Just to keep it running,
Correct,
essentially
because we don't
operational.
have to bill it each year.
and so this was one of the things I brought to the budget meeting when it was my turn. Corey, I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember that.
I remember
Any
it.
of you remember that? And we went into depth more about what this app can do.
Yeah.
And I believe at that time you all thought it was a good thing for the county that if EMA could come up with this first amount of money for the setup charge and getting everything set up with every department, that the county would consider paying for each yearly expense in the future.
I think because they're two separate, I mean, essentially, so your first 3 things there are requesting for grants, right?
Right.
So I would make a motion to,
Yeah.
For the
I'll second all
grants.
those.
I'll second the grants.
Corey, I think Corey did first.
so
And
we
maybe
want to vote on that
on
one.
this grant from the foundation, you can get approved for 3,600.
Yes.
What's the deadline to use that up?
Beginning of, I guess I would say middle of January. I think it's January 20th.
So we have to spend it by then.
Yes.
So coming up pretty quick then.
Yes. So again, if this isn't something you all are interested in helping us with, and we need to
Let us-
continue finding money,
So let us do the vote on it. Grant.
Motion to approve and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
As far as the funds, I mean, I do remember talking about it at budget time, and I think we did all agree, and so I'm willing to make a motion to, I mean,
I just make sure where is it coming out of? Is it coming? Are we appropriating it out of general, or are we
I think general.
appropriating more? Or are we appropriating more into their account that they can then spend?
How much again did you say it was?
Like $70 or-
$6,221.
If you wanted to approve this today and just say in the motion to allow the auditor's office to find a location in
Yeah,
the budget, or
So-
however you want to word that.
yeah, so I'll make a motion to approve that funding and to find the best location. I would just request also that every now and then we have these funds that are hard to use. If we can find one of those funds to use money out of it, then let's do that.
We've done that to some extent that during the course of this year.
Yeah.
Using some of that.
Okay, I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I might add that we're going to be getting real soon, some money from the hospital from their refinancing surplus. They're sending it to all the units. Our amount's going to be around 65,000. So, you know, there's money in county general to take care of this. We'll just find a place to pay it out of.
Just sliver.
So this will be a yearly on their budget for next year and the following year? Okay, I do support it. I think it's a great idea, because I think during the winter times, 911 is just massively just rushed with calls. What's the current status? And I think just like Amber Alerts and everything, cell phones is the way to go.
And this app would include iPods too.
Which for iPause, people don't have to sign up. That iPause is usually or normally a severe weather incident. And that comes out through National Weather Service, through iPause, and it just automatically goes out to everybody's phone. Now, for the other departments, specific things, people are gonna have to put this app on their phone to get that information. But when it comes to a true emergency type situation, it's gonna go out, which I think is wonderful.
Yes.
Yes.
And we've needed that for a long time.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah, thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Hey, Barb, how much is that annual fee going to be?
It's for paperwork.
Because I'll need to know how much is going to come out of wherever we take it out of.
I'll just give him this information. That's everything.
Okay, you're next.
I got so much paper. I'll go ahead and let Julie Bridget Brooker get back with you.
Yes.
Is that the correct one? Glad we made sure of that.
Yes, no kidding.
She's got the sheriff's contract. But Eric here was supposed to be here and he's not.
Well, just give him a little time.
So let's give him, if you want to have Mike come up now and get his out of the way, that should give Eric. Because Dan said that Eric is gonna be here to discuss all of his additionals. So if you want to go ahead and have Mike come before me, that's fine. Get that over with.
Mike, would you like to step forward?
This year, this just happened in the last couple of weeks, and I'm gonna need some additional money because of all the outlay that my budgets are gonna be very tough to try and get through the next couple of months. I was hoping that I could just get put back in the amount that I'm gonna be taking in from the invoices for interlocal agreements. And that would be for all the circuit charges and everything, which they doubled this year. And I don't even know if I can meet the current payments for the next couple of months that I gotta make on those. And then we've had backup tape devices that failed last week. So if I need to get those replaced, that's probably gonna be like $50,000 to get that replaced. Yeah, so I'm asking, I'm gonna be taking in about $100,000. So to meet my obligations, I'm asking if I can get that put in back into my budget. Taking from all the people, which will be in December, at least, we'll get everything closed out.
Is there a formal request in there for the $100,000 additional?
I had to do it quick because I just found out about some of this stuff on Monday, so I haven't put in a request yet. You have one, Tony.
Yeah, it
Tony
was-
thought that we
It
should
was
do
too late to get an additional. It had already been advertised. You have to advertise for a certain length of time.
Right.
But I told Mike, I said, if this is something he would probably need to tell you all today so that he can get that additional in for the December meeting. And I Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you said this 100,000 that you're gonna be seeking will end up being repaid back as they pay these invoices.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that'd be through 26.
And that does get you through the rest of the year then.
through this year.
So this is an informational meeting that you'll be having.
We can't formally vote on it right now.
No.
Yeah, so.
You can't approve an additional right now because it wasn't advertised.
I mean, just so. We'll give it an additional, but it'll be essentially be reimbursed through fees coming back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever that comes in. While you're here,
Hopefully I can make my payments this month and, then like for instance, the 50,000 for the tape device, I wouldn't get an invoice till next month anyway.
And was that end, kind of end of life for that machine, or is just
It's
just
failed.
failed?
It's
Only if
failed.
it's series to
There's
series.
no warranty or anything left?
I don't know if this would be considered
It has to
series
be
to series.
replaced. It's end
I mean-
of life too.
Oh, is it?
If he's worried about cash, that's
So
what
we
can't
say
get the
consensus
drives. That's what it means.
that
Needs to
chances
take
are it'll be
drives.
approved next month.
They're saying you gotta buy
But
it.
if you ran something in the red, knowing that the money's coming in December, it should be fine.
we were just talking about, if you said it, hopefully you can pay your bills, so if you've got anything that is like a cash flow problem, sounds like we could either do a transfer right now without notice, as long as it's within the same series, if you know that off the top of your head. Or if we're all kind of saying that we're gonna do it, you could run it in the red a little bit, and then it would bounce right back next month. So-
Ordinarily, you don't run a line in the red, but if we have consensus that this additional would be approved in December, then you can go ahead and pay something even if it's in the red. We don't want that to be a practice, of course, but in this situation, if you know it's coming,
I don't know if you have anything like that where you cash flow, you're gonna run something negative that you need to use one of those options.
Yeah, I transfer as much as I can within all the time, don't I, Tony?
And you can ask,
I transfer.
Yeah, well, I just meant if you need a temporary one to cover a bill, if you're
Yeah.
saying you're gonna have a cash flow problem for the next month, you need us to transfer, because that we can approve right now without notice, as long as it's the same series. So we could do that just to get you through if you need to.
some transfers within the same series doesn't have to get council approval. But depends on where it's coming from and all of that, but well,
Yeah,
you can come down and see
I'm
us.
almost breathing on fumes. When we had to try and budget, it was a year and a half ago about that. And then we've taken on some stuff that we didn't even know we were gonna take on at that point, so.
Okay, well, you've got all of us right now, so if there's any emergency, you need us to approve a transfer right now to get you through. How's it?
And can we just blindly vote? I mean, if it's in the same
I mean,
series?
if you want to make a motion that if there's a transfer within the same series that does not meet the need to have council approval,
I guess
I
that
mean,
would be.
you don't really have to do it. We can just
wouldn't
make
have
it.
to-
All you gotta do is tell me. If it's within series, you're going to approve that transfer.
If you think you're gonna cash, like if you're gonna need
So-
that the next month.
Yeah, I normally just send them to him and things kind of work out,
Yeah.
you know, you
I
guys,
don't know
you
that
guys
we
are
need action
notified.
on it.
and-
Okay.
If you guys have the consensus on that, we'll be fine. He'll get
I'm
the
fine
bills
with
that he needs to get paid. And then that additional in December will take care of whatever needs to be taken care of.
There's a lot of months, even early on, that I gotta do that. If we budgeted so much, but then something in towards late in the year happened between the time that we did the budget for that year and so on, so.
Yeah.
I just do they can be in January of the new year, and I'll ask for a transfer, you know, so. But I guess that's the only reason I came in. That's Tony wanted me to say something about that, so.
Better to let them know what's coming than spring it on in December.
Is there anything else that you want?
You know what, I can, yeah, I'll give an update. Now's as good a time as any while you're sitting there. So we've been talking about, and I think most of you are aware, Mike is gonna retire at the end of 2026. And, so we had a meeting about, you know, a progression plan for that. And in the midst of talking about that, we've been talking about this part of it for almost as long as I've been on council now, about how we handle other entities on our system. And so that was part of this progression plan discussion. So right now I would say we're probably leaning towards just being independent on our, you know, on our own. I think Mike's gonna come forward with a recommendation to the commissioners at some point here, and I've spoken with Mike as well about this. And I think I won't go into that right now because it's not formal, but I think it'll be a good resolution for us in the county as well as the other entities that are on our system. But that way, whoever comes in for Mike won't be dealing with that anymore. And I mean, it really has been a headache for, like I said, I think my whole time on council. So ultimately, when Mike comes to formally with that to the commissioners and the commissioners will make their decision on that, we can, you know, elaborate a little bit more, but it is looking like we will probably just be, you know, contained to ourselves and we will not be leaving the other entities hanging high and dry. There's as part of that resolution, there's, you know, a means to take care of that. And then ultimately they'll be able to make the decision long-term about whether they want to stay where they're at or move on to something else. But yeah, just making everybody aware of what's happening. And probably as far as they need to go right now, I think. Yeah. So.
Until we know more
Yeah.
about what it's gonna be. Yeah, so.
You have timeline for this?
Well, I mean, actually, there's one more thing I should add. With migration of that stuff, and this will probably be an additional, come next year, since we've obviously we've already passed a budget, but it just makes a lot of sense to, instead of keeping it on Mike and his team to try to take care of this migration and then also transition to a new head of the department. We just talked about instead of doing that, let's outsource that and get that migration taken care of, or somebody can just throw a ton of resources at it and get it done. And while obviously that's some cost to the county a little bit, I also think it's the better way to go, to keep us operating efficiently and make this transition a little better and smoother for us as a county. So.
It has to start happening quick,
So-
because it's a lot of work,
Yeah.
John, to do this extremely.
Oh, I'm sure.
Work to get that done.
Probably
And,
early.
I only got 1 year. Now you might think, well, gee, Mike, that's a year. That's a pretty short amount of time compared to what we got.
No, I was just curious.
Yeah, so it's probably got to
what's
start
timeline?
pretty quick.
Yeah, probably pretty early in the new year,
Yeah.
either late
Well,
first quarter,
yeah.
early second quarter,
Yeah.
probably.
It could even,
So-
even start, based upon what it is, it could start as quick as we can make a decision, we could start moving,
Okay, so-
right now, so. I mean, if we can make a
Completion
decision
by
next month, we
end of
would
next year.
probably start next month. You see what I'm saying? But there's just that much work to do.
But definitely completion by the time we get Mike's replacement, I think we'd like to either have that complete or very close to complete. And that way, whoever his replacement is really focusing on our system at that point.
But I got in mind a pretty good solution.
So,
That'll be very good for those other partners that are on the interlocal agreement that we have. It'll seem seamless if we can go that. So. Good enough.
Stan?
I completely understand the additional
work that it takes and the additional effort that it takes on Mike's part and his department to do this. Initially, when we looked at this, since we had the sheriff's department as one of our county departments, you know, and we had to keep them on the county for the sake of security and efficiency. We had the capability to bring other emergency departments on too. And so that's kind of, I guess looking back, that's why the initial decision was made to bring some of the other departments. So, you know, I guess if we can, in ongoing discussions, take a good look at the efficiencies we've created for emergency services. And I know now the sheriff's department has their own IT director for their department, just kind of, you know, working together with emergency services through the whole county. What's gonna make sense when they have it. You know, by virtue of that, we've also taken on with Peter City and Geneva and kind of created a whole nest of departments and entities under our.
That was part of the discussion, Stan, and
Yeah, so
the emergency services will not be split up. I think the idea is that they do stay under one umbrella and stay together. Exactly how the fire department works within the sheriff's department, I mean, maybe that all has to be worked out, but yeah, that was part of the discussion.
Yeah, so I guess that's the only thing I'm saying
Yeah.
is just to take a hard look at those efficiencies we've created.
Yeah, I think the idea is that law enforcement stays together and,
I just didn't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
no, I don't think that's gonna happen at all, honestly,
Thank you.
so.
Thank Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Fred, for your participation and understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Helped a lot. Oh, what's next?
Ready for me?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, gentlemen. Two things this morning. The Peterborough Board Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals is requesting confirmation of their appointment of Jeff Keese to the board. His term would be 1 year, beginning January 1st, 2026. So need a vote to approve their appointment.
I had it too.
I'm sorry.
I had printed it off also.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Who's he replacing?
I'm sorry.
Is there-
Requesting a vote to approve.
I don't think he's replacing anyone. He's already on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
just a
To approve,
okay,
yes, to renew his appointment.
Second.
Shoot.
Jim, second.
Who was the first? And Jan. Got it.
Thank you. The other thing is,
Did
it's
they
that,
vote? Did you guys vote?
yes.
No.
I don't think. they
Oh,
voted.
I'm sorry.
Got a
I
mo-
thought
got a
vote
motion,
seconded
second.
already.
All those in favor of the certificate of appointment, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, likewise? Passes.
Okay, approval of the sheriff's salary contract needs to be done by both bodies, council as well as commissioners. The contract has been negotiated for the sum of $132,538,000. And that would be for the year 2026, beginning January 1st. So if council approves that,
Is
you
that a
can take,
change from last year?
I think it's
I think it's a little.
a slight increase, yeah.
And I don't know if that had to do with what the state dictates they can get it or not.
It does. The salary is contingent upon other salaries in the state. I believe it's 80% of the prosecutor and judge's salaries. So it is standard. So this was negotiated and the terms are the same as they were in prior years with regards to his ongoing responsibilities.
Make a motion to approve contingent upon the commissioner's approval.
I'll second.
Motion and a
I
second.
think just you sign for the council.
Need a second.
John seconded. Somebody.
John did.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed likewise?
Thank you.
I forget what that amount was again.
Did we have the public library appointment?
I
as
have it
well?
here, yes.
Are they coming in for that?
Huh?
Are they coming in for that?
No,
Did you give Tony the amount?
I've got it.
You got it?
It's in the paperwork. Oh, this stuff doesn't need signed by.
Well, Holly's not here. Where do we go from here?
It's just a grant is all it is.
Let me see. Hold on.
If it's just a grant application.
We've
I don't
already,
mind voting on that.
we've already done EMA. We already did health. We already did Nate. We can do the public library thing next. And then we can go into my stuff if you want after that.
The library is just a reappointment, correct?
No, it's a replacing. They are replacing Beth Corson. And he mentions how good a job she's done and everything.
Replacing with-
I'm about to say that.
Oh, thought I missed something.
Beth Corson is getting replaced by Brian Clemens,
On what?
Public Library Board.
Okay, that's part I missed, sorry.
Oh, that's, you missed Julie Marie saying that?
No, I didn't say anything about the,
Library, oh, you
no,
mentioned.
I didn't do library.
I don't know. either.
No, it's a Public Library Board. She may have said that just to me. These guys might have heard it. I don't know if you could have done it that in. But it's replacement on the Public Library Board.
I'm
And it would
assuming
be,
they found her and are recommending her, is that what, or this new person?
Yes.
And
yes, Kelly L. Anger.
I don't have any reason to
And this
have
would
brought
be,
that, so I guess I'll make that motion.
And approval? Need approval for that?
yeah, we need a motion and a vote and all that.
Motion.
And John?
Who seconded?
John.
John.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise?
Let me see where you sign here. Sign there and there. Or 2 copies. You're the only one that has to sign it. There's right there.
There, actually, it's fine.
That one, so we'll keep one copy and we'll send the other one to Kelly.
And for health department, that's just approving the grant they're applying for.
You already did that. That's the thing we did at the beginning for
Okay.
Holly. Yeah, I went ahead and did it. Originally, we were gonna put her up near the top because she said she was so busy and had, you know, a lot of stuff going on. And I just told her that I'll just do it for you because I know what it is. Keys.
Who's next? You and Marie?
We already
No,
signed
I
that.
don't want.
I'm next, I think.
Go for it.
Okay, let's go ahead through the. Hold on. Gotta catch up here. So I got all these motions and seconds correct. Okay, we've got transfers, amended salary ordinance and additional appropriation. You wanna do the transfers first? We can do that.
I'll move that we approve all.
Second.
Who seconded?
Fred?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You wanna sign first or at the end? Don't forget. Don't let me let you forget.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's do the amended salary ordinance. If you have questions on that or anything, but
I'll move to approve.
Corey and Jim.
Jim? All those in favor of the motion?
So,
Aye.
Aye.
Likewise opposed?
okay. And here's that one. And then we have the additional appropriations. Dan had sent, did you all receive what Dan had sent regarding,
We've got some overtime due to some injuries and stuff, right?
Jail transport and injuries.
it's a whole lot of stuff on here for the jail. He noted that they're having to go more often to extradite someone out of state, which added to the cost. The overtime, he also addressed in that information. But at any rate, those would be for jail and public safety. He explains those in there. The victim's advocate, I'm sure they're just running short. Julie Marie, $3,000. Just, he's gonna need to through the year.
Yeah, no, I don't know any details on that.
He just didn't share it with him.
He did not.
It's just, Jeremy's not gonna ask for it unless it's needed.
Right.
And then the other thing, the foster care Title 4E, if you remember last month, you had approved this same request. However, we had received the incorrect fund number from that department. Now we have to redo it with the correct fund number. So it's what you had approved last month for 9,000.
I think my only question was on the overtime. If I'm understanding that correctly, a lot of that was because they had people out.
It had to cover other places that they don't ordinarily have to cover.
I would think their wage line item would be lower then.
It should.
I would think so too, but I think it's one of those things where they don't wanna pull too much and have to come back in another month to ask for more money for that one. But yeah, there was a lot of leave of absences for medical and then injuries this year, unfortunately, that took people out for months at a time. So they had to move other people to cover, but some of those were covered by PTO. There was one at the beginning of this year that there was 100% PTO coverage because he had planned for it for so long and he saved up enough time. So that came out of the regular line item. And we worked really, really hard to keep people at work when they're injured if we had other stuff that they can do. So they still got paid, part of the time. So they didn't have a lot of lost time necessarily. Because we don't want our workers' comp to be affected.
They're essentially on light duty, but not fulfilling their normal role.
So they can do, depends on the injury, right? There's lots of into it, but sometimes we have people do 20 to 25 hours a week, so we're really only saving 30 hours per pay. And a lot of officers have a ton of wiggle room in the normal line item because of that, so I just don't think that there was probably not. Yes.
So it should be less is what you're saying, but not all the way less. Like the regular wages should be down a little bit, but not all the way
Yeah,
down.
I don't think it would be enough to cover whatever he's asking for.
Yeah, I think that's his fear. It's not gonna be enough. Any other questions on the additional appropriations?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Brad and Jim.
Got it.
All those in favor of the additional
Aye.
appropriations?
Aye.
Opposed likewise?
When those get around, I'll grab them and have you sign them.
Okay, what's left there?
I'm still up. I still have. And the only other thing that I have, typically, this is done in either October or November, sometimes December. And we pretty much kept to the way it was last year on council meeting dates. Something to keep in mind, depending on what the legislators do and what they come up with in 27 or 28, one of those 2 years, everything is going to change as far as budget hearings and stuff, because fiscal body will have to have townships and cities come before them regarding their lit. So they'll have to make the case on what percentage they need to fund themselves. And so I don't, when that happens, or if it happens that way, I don't know about keeping it all to one day. But that's gonna be quite a few things. I don't think the state could even tell you right now exactly how that's gonna look or when it's gonna happen. But
That's like a 28, I think, maybe, or 29.
it's either July 27.
It's not this year, though.
No, it's not this year, so these should work. We can still have the one day, because that has seemed to work well. I think there's only one. Let me see if there's a holiday in there. I don't think the holiday fell.
Showed up yesterday. We'll take it in the morning.
I think there's one Tuesday that it's a holiday next year, but that only affects the commissioners meeting and not. And they'll approve their dates at the next, or look at their dates at the next meeting. So this would be resolution 2025-7.
That's for the meeting dates next year.
Yep. Like I said, it's second Tuesday.
Do
of
they
the
need
month,
to
so
look at it or just,
I sent it to them.
just a matter of fact, huh?
I sent it to them. You got it under email.
That we voted on.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Brad and Jim.
Okay.
All those in favor of approving the resolution 2025-7?
2025-7.
Aye.
Is opposed? Passed.
Let me see,
Without a
it's,
vote.
2025-7. Did you want a copy of these that you didn't get it? I can make a copy when it's done,
Yeah.
because that'll need signed as well. The second page is the one that needs signed.
Okay, what else, Tony?
I believe that should be all that I have.
Julie Marie, anything else?
It's on trips, you know, this because
Commissioner?
the judge wants all these warrants served.
I believe I have anything.
That's why to California,
Oh, yeah.
they gotta go to Florida, Texas.
Yep, I have one question. Remind us, because I think it's coming near the end, how much longer to be able to do the survey for the county vision? Or is it over?
That's a great question. As you know, just a quick update on that, we will be having kind of a preliminary draft review by the steering committee coming up here next Monday, I believe. So that steering committee will be back together again for a couple of hours, going through some preliminary draft of the report. So I'm gonna say that probably we would encourage people to continue to provide input, but that input is gonna be more difficult to integrate into the actual report as we get closer to finalizing that report, which we hope to have that done before the end of the year. So that's kind of where we're at. We're nearing the end. We've been working on this now for well over 12 months. And so that's, hopefully we're gonna get a report here for people to start looking at, and ultimately for the commissioners to approve here within the next 30 to 60 days.
Okay, I tried to reach out to somebody who works at WZBD about getting it on their website, and they did not respond, so I'm gonna probably try to go on their site or something just to see about getting it.
I
put on there.
would encourage that input up, certainly up until, the end of this month. That report won't be a final report for another 30 to, like I said, 30 to 60 days. So that input can still be integrated into that final report.
Just, I mean, here in a public forum, just put it out there. I mean, that survey is what you think Adams County needs. And so the more people that take it, it's a chance to, get your voice or your concerns or your wants or needs or whatever,
There's a link
reflected
to
in that report.
Link to that survey on the Adams County website. So you go to the Adams County website, look for that, Advancing Adams County, link, that will get you the survey.
Thanks for your work.
Looking forward to bringing something that can help us plot a future for Adams County for the next decade anyway.
Points and
I think
measures
that's
are
it.
done.
I think that's it.
Any other matters to be brought before us?
Oh,
Yes, the wage review met this morning. I guess synopsis of all this is there is one of the deputies from the clerk's office went to a different department in the county, and so that position was open, and she was looking to do the job duties, and so she presented a new job description plan that the commissioners will vote on after this. But basically would not be replacing it with a chief deputy. Instead, it would be taking on a lot more of the bookkeeping type duties. So all we had to do really was categorize that, so we put that at an E5, which I think is a perfect fit. We're all in agreement on that, so just recommendation from that wage review to us to categorize that position as a 5. Then commissioners can approve the job description afterwards.
We need a motion for that, all right?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation of the wage review committee concerning the clerk's open position that has been redefined.
So any 5. Yeah.
Good, any 5 wage level.
Thanks for putting that all together. Lenny, all those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Likewise opposed? Passes without question. What else is here? There's no other matters to present before us at this time. Call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Jim Bob.
Jim and Bob.
Jim Bob.
Yeah.